In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey, Beverly Hills 90210 fans, stop what you're doing right now, because it's time to dive deep into 90 News. All the latest news and rumors coming out of your favorite zip code. With your hosts, Pete Ferrero and Melanie Rose. Oh my God, I can't believe what I just heard.
Okay, well, we're back for 90 News, and wow, it's action-packed this Friday.
Busy week. Wow.
All of our cast members, all of the cast members have a lot of things going on in the world of 90210. But let's jump right into it with our panel of experts, all things 90210. Our roving reporter, Larry Mollin, is here. And, of course, Charles Rosen is here with us as well.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
How this was a great week this past week, Charles, diving into Misery Loves Company, right? Did you have fun with that episode?
I'm still feeling a lot of misery from it. Yes, I sure am. No, it really was, and especially fun to be there with Jessica. And also, what's really great, and those who see the news and aren't part of your, the Patreon thing, that it's really fun after we do one. You usually put together that we talk about it and get additional questions, additional insights for 15, 20 minutes, however long, everybody feels like hanging around. And that was also a real highlight.
Yeah, you're talking about the After Dark Zooms that we've been doing. And wow, those have been really, really fun. I mean, I think we get some really, really awesome questions there that we don't even think to talk about on the podcast. So that's been a lot of fun. I'm sure we'll do another one this week.
Right.
Well, this week I wanted to say at the top of the show, we're talking all things Valentines, and we have two guests coming on with us to talk about this. Matthew Lawrence, Mel Silver, and Ann Gillespie, Jackie Taylor or Jackie Silver. I don't know if she ever changed.
Nice job. Two of our faves. Great.
Yeah, so they're going to reunite. I mean, that was a huge part of that season 2 episode with the baby, and he wanted to propose and all that. I just watched this week, so it's really great. Hey, before we get further, there's this big news story going around. We don't talk about politics here on the show, but we're
never talk about it. Never would bring it up. Not me.
No.
And it's very odd that our worlds are colliding this way this week, but Donald Trump, the former president, you must all know that. I almost said the former dictator of the United States. Wrote a letter because Gabrielle Carteris and SAG kicked him out of the union. I'm curious, Charles and Larry, what your thoughts are on this. Larry, let's start with you. You're a SAG member.
I am a SAG member. I kind of came out of the blue. I don't know what, we were discussing a little bit before, like we're not quite sure what disciplinary rule he broke, but regardless, the letter is just hilarious, really. I mean, the fact that he doesn't know Gabby and he gives his credits in Home Alone where he has one line. I mean, it's hilarious. He doesn't mention his WWE credits, which I'm very disappointed in, of course.
Oh, that's right. He had the hair shape.
But perhaps because it's not really a SAG job, it's really a gray area, even though they're performing on TV, they're not union.
Well, it's probably not union, knowing
that's
the
correct. Yeah,
right?
That's correct. But Gabby handled the thing.
So, in other words, Larry, he's just every time he was on there, he was a scab.
That is correct. That's something that the SAG is
now that
on.
He could have been kicked out for, yes or not?
Well, yeah, of course. Working for an unsigned engager, yeah, that's a big thing. But right now they are non-union.
WWE is. That's right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, so they get away with
that.
We
might be talking about that soon on 90 News too.
Yeah, that's already been.
Yes.
That's been a hot topic for a while. I mean, because they have so many hours of television they're on, really, and the performers are not protected by any union. It's
no insurance
tough situation. No, I as someone who worked for WWE, I can tell you that they need it.
Yeah.
But Gabby's response to the letter was phenomenal. It was kind of a full out letter, an attack on her. And he said he was resigning from the union, and she said 2 words: "Thank you."
Well, Gabrielle is going to be with us in a little.
Yeah, but you're giving credit. We'll see what Gabby would have said, because that was the executive director's response.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Charles, what's your take on this whole thing?
Well, I'm as curious as Larry. Everyone knows I've never been a fan of anything that our president did, even for the 40 years before he became the president. I didn't, before he came into the public's film. But I don't understand the rationale of how they were even deciding to kick him out. I understand maybe
they were disciplined, not kick him out. They weren't going to kick him out. They just wanted to
they were just going to discipline him. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we did have a chance to talk to Gabrielle Carteris a little earlier. This is what she had to say about the whole letter debacle. We heard about this letter and we wanted to go right to the source. This is so entertaining for me and all of us. First of all, he isn't aware of the work that you've done on 90210. Was that shocking? Or
I don't think that I'm his demo.
no?
But his daughter was, so I feel like, Ivanka at least was aware, but whatever.
Well, he didn't mention her in the letter. I don't know.
Yes, true.
All right, so walk me through. What is this? What is going on with all this?
Well, I think that, we've seen it all for the last 4 years, but really January 6th for me was the culmination of what was really freedom of speech becoming something that's inciting violence. And watching it on TV and seeing it live and watching this like accelerated, call to battle and that idea of attacking, particularly, broadcast journalists, who were there to work and to, for a moment in history and their lives are being threatened. We have 5 people who died, 150 officers who were attacked. We had our broadcast journalists who were attacked. There was murder, murder the press and signs inside of the Capitol. There was a noose created out of equipment of a cameraman to show the hanging of the press. These are unacceptable. And being the president of the union, my job in that moment, what I'm seeing is a member who's actually going against everything that is honorable in terms of being a member of our union. And so I went and put charges forward and gave them to the National Executive Director, David White, and he presented them to the National Board right after the 6th. I was like, this is enough. He should not be. It is an honor and privilege to be a part of our union. It means to actually be there in, unionism is about standing together and not hurting each other. And so in our Constitution, you're not allowed to do that as a member. And I put these charges forward and the National Board supported that. We were actually getting ready. Today was going to be the day that we were going to be in the disciplinary trial where I was supposed to be able to testify. And yesterday we saw as a result, prior to that, I guess he didn't want to go through the process. So he decided to resign.
I mean, he's got that big role in Home Alone too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said this earlier. I don't remember his performance, but I'm glad he does. So it's good.
Yeah.
He might be the only one that does.
Yes. Well, thank you for spending a little time here talking about this. Good work as always. And we appreciate what you're doing with SAG and all that stuff. So just love you so much. And thank you for this.
Love you. Thank you guys. You take care. Thank you so much.
All
Thank
right.
you, Gabrielle. Well, that was so nice of Gabrielle to join us today. We know she has a busy schedule talking about this news story with some other stations. So thank you to her for taking the time. We love her. And now we're going to go back to Charles and Larry.
Excellent. We'll give her our love.
The only thing I've ever seen Donald Trump handle well was an argument between Meatloaf and Gary Busey. Other than that, it's been all wonderful. All right. So, Larry, we have this exciting thing happening here. You have it on your TV. We're doing another tweet along on February 11th, right? I got that right, Melanie? We're tweeting.
Yes,
Valentine's
you
Day.
It's a Thursday. Yep.
Tell me about this.
I'm going to tell you about it, Pete. It's a lot of fun. It's 5 hours from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to do 5 episodes, one after the other, Valentine's Day episodes and romantic classic episodes, including Goodbye Beverly Hills with the I Choose Me story in it. That'll probably be the last one, and Little Fish. But then there are 3 other Valentine's Day episodes from, I think, season 3, 4, and 5, I'm guessing.
2, 4, and 5.
2, 4, and 5. And you get, you watch them on your Pluto TV, which is a fantastic channel, totally dedicated to 90210. Just you have to find it on your TV. It's a free streaming app. You can put it back on your TV if you don't have it there now. And while the episodes go on, the key creatives talking about Charles and myself and maybe some mystery guests are going to comment on the episode on the Twitter site while we're watching, and also you can comment, and it just becomes a big tweet fest. We did one, I guess in December, maybe.
When was that? November, maybe?
It was phenomenal. It was so much fun. It was like an endurance test, but people really enjoyed it. It's kind of joyous. There'll be some drinking and smoking going on, and it's Valentine's Day, so do it with someone you love. But it should be great. That's about it. February 11th, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. We'll keep plugging it, but Pluto TV has been great to us.
And again, I don't like to stir anything up ever, me, but you do realize that this is a wonderful thing that Larry talks about, and it's Pluto, and they get to do this. And the reason they get to have that channel is because Pluto is owned by CBS, who owns the copyright of 90210. So if you want to comment, boy, I'd sure like this episode more if it had the original music at the appropriate spot. I won't tell you not to do that.
Please, let's also get that trending, Melanie. That's something we need to work on with the tweet along.
Just be careful. If you do it too much, Pluto will never invite us back.
We'll strike a good balance. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think what it's going to take to do that is we're going to have to get every single cast member to tweet restore the music on 90210. We will work behind the scenes on that at some point. All right, that's going to get cut too. All right, so Larry, thank you so much. We're very excited about the tweet.
Hi, Larry.
It's good to have you here. You've got a busy day ahead of you.
I do. I've got to have my bike fixed, basically. But thank you for having me on. It's all the news that's fit and lit, and I wish everybody a good weekend.
Thanks. Now get out of here.
Ciao.
Sorry, I had to.
That's great. All right. That was your best. That's your intro when we ever have you on the other show. Okay.
Oh, great. So let's start with one of the stories that you sent us this week, Charles, about Darren Star and
Darren Star. That's right. Well, some of the best memories that a lot of us have relative to 90210 were the nominations that we got for the Golden Globe nominations for seasons 2 and seasons 3, and we all got to go to that, and it was a lot of fun, a fun party. I actually was there also for season 5. I went there with Jason when he was nominated, not the show, and it was interesting. So that there was Darren back, and I shared the first story, 2 stories to tell. The first, of course, was back in the day of what contributed to us getting our first nomination, which is, I think those of you who are really into pop culture, know sometimes that the Globes are not necessarily considered the most august voting body, cinephiles, TV critics, in other words, that they can be manipulated. How can they be manipulated? Well, how about you have a press conference 2 weeks before the voting closes, in which you bring to the press, the foreign press, an exclusive interview with Jason Priestley and Luke Perry. Also at that was Darren Star, Aaron, and myself. And we all were there to answer questions. And lo and behold, we got our first nomination 2 weeks later, for everybody's surprise.
Nice.
So that was our introduction to the Globe. And so here's Darren. He's back. And so, we don't get to talk too much, he and I, but we do enjoy each other's company. And we've been through a lot together. So excuse me for going off. I just wanted to read. So I sent him an email called Golden Globe Redo, R-E-D-U-X. And I said, Mazel Tov, you got the Zoe slot, said Lindsay's father. Seriously happy you got the recognition for the best looking show in the bunch. Sorry the Gestalt has to be virtual, but you won't have to deal with the parking at the Beverly Hilton. And he writes, which is legendary. And he writes back, haha, thanks. But I think the slot went to the flight attendant. I'm not sure what the Golden Globes are without a party. Maybe next year we'll all be there. And I hope so. We'll all be there. And that's because Darren will hire me to work on one of the shows.
No, let's hope. Meaning we'll all be there. You were included in that meeting.
Yes, and you'll be there. I can drive him there if he needs to. But that was with Darren, and it's it is an interesting group because there are some really good shows in the comedy. I'm a big fan of Zoe, It's Extraordinary Players, because my daughter writes for it, and I think the show's so much fun with all the music. At the same time, 2 shows you might want to check out that got nominated. If you don't know The Flight Attendant, it is jaw-dropping.
So
and
good.
then, but if I were a voting member, and she didn't get an award nomination from SAG, so maybe they know more than I do, and they probably all do. It's not saying much, but I sure like Elle Fanning. You watch The Great. You may not know The Great. It is so good, and
Awesome.
I would check that out too. So
Where is that streaming, Charles? The Great. Where is that?
Oh, out in the ether somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'll check
Hulu,
it out.
maybe. Hulu, I think. Sounds like
that
a little bit of a Hulu, but it could be a Netflix. It could be an Amazon. It could be an Apple. It could be a Sundance channel. It could so much to
So
choose
many
from.
channels these
No,
days.
Choice is great.
Okay. Well, and there's another story. Melanie, is there I keep asking you this. Is there a photo to go along with any of this or no?
Yes, there is a photo for this next Hollywood sign story. There are actually 2 photos. So
Now I said the Hollywood sign, I feel some proprietary interest in that and love for that. For first of all, what's not really remembered very much is that Hollywood sign has, really went into disrepair before it was fixed up by Hugh Hefner, actually. And I can't remember if it was fixed up before or after the class of 93 from West Beverly High went up there to play around with it. I do also have a story. My mother is native of Los Angeles. She passed away a few years ago at 101. She went to Hollywood High School. She grew up, and she remembers being a very young girl with one of her neighbors in Hollywood, in the flatlands of Hollywood, being very, very upset. This neighbor, by the way, had a cow in her backyard. And she was very upset because they're ruining our hills. They're ruining our hills. They're developing it. And that was the day they put up the sign Hollywoodland. So my mom was around for that. So I've always felt kind of proprietary and always knew about that sign. So it was pretty easy to say, hey, in the final episode of high school, why don't we have the gang, blah, 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 and you know what happened. But that's what happened.
Classic.
And we begged, Mr. Spelling, could we just have it morph into one moment, say 90210 before going back? He didn't want to break the third wall. And so I'm around to tell people that when you look at that, also imagine what that would have, the thrill you would have gotten if it had morphed into 90210 before it morphed back. But that's
cool.
my opinion. But anyway, we did it right. We know how to do it. But I guess people are still trying to play around up there. And I noticed that
Hollyboob.
Hollyboob.
But who is this?
So she's an influencer that was upset with Instagram because they were taking down some of her photos, which she claims are no more racy than, say, Playboy or some other things that are posted on Instagram. Some of the other people said it was for breast cancer awareness, but
that's what she should have went with. I don't know what it is, but that's what she should have went.
She looks like kind of a jerk right there, I mean, I don't know.
Well, if you're going, if you're going to do that, in the public good to raise awareness, not quite sure. Could you go back to that picture again, Pete? I'm not sure you should wear a shag mag and give 2 fingers.
Let's put the tongue back in her mouth too.
Right. Yes, come on, guys. What are we doing?
Well, maybe she was doing a promo for the Rolling Stones. I'm not quite.
Maybe.
Sure
that's a good way of looking at that. Yeah.
Not so good. I'm just trying to defend her now that I've
in her face. Yeah.
Well.
All right. Well.
Well, that's the news.
Yes.
And from my part of it,
and
that's going to be great. And say hello and have a good weekend, everybody. And we'll be back on Valentine's.
That's right. Wednesday night, we're covering 3 different Valentine's episodes, and we're really looking forward to it. And like I said, Matthew and Anne will be with us, Mel and Jackie. Jackie.
Right. And if you I don't want to give anything away, but the chance is I might do another line reading we're having a meeting here.
Oh,
never know.
Can't wait.
I hope so. All right,
everybody.
All right, bye, Charles. Thank you.
Bye later. Bye.
All right, that's awesome. I'm excited for all of that.
Okay. Yes, and I appreciate Charles being on the lookout for good news stories for us to share here. So thank you, Charles.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And now there's this.
Okay. Do you know we have even more new shirts and merchandise at Beverly Hills 90210showshop.com? For instance, watch our Planet 90210 show with some sick Planet 90210 merch. Or want to celebrate at the Peach Pit? Check out this new shirt with a photo from Jill Henkel's collection. Or, oh my god, I know Claire Arnold fans are going to love this one. A little sex, rock, and really decent literature. Plus, for all you Larry Mollin fans, that's right, a Get Outta Here shirt. And don't forget about our classic designs. We keep loading it up with more items each week, so head over to Beverly Hills 90210showshop.com for all your 90210 stuff.
And if that's not enough, we have a brand new shirt coming to the store today. In case you want my face on your shirt, and Chuck and Larry's, we have this cool pop art shirt with the three of our pictures and our logo. Just a traditional way to celebrate the podcast with the three of us. And if I see anybody get that shirt, you will be able to come here on this podcast. We will run one of those drawings and have you come on. So if we get a bunch of people to get that shirt, then that will happen, and you can sit in for the full episode with us. So that's
that's big.
Get that shirt, and then we'll put you all into a drawing of some sort, and one of you will get that opportunity. Okay.
I love that. So
I just made all that up right now. That whole contest, I just came up with it right now on the fly.
Wow. Look at you. Always impressive, Pete. Always impressive.
Thank you. You're always impressive as well, Melanie.
Oh, thanks. We love each other.
We do. Well,
so some other big news this week was pretty sad. If you're a Saved by the Bell fan like myself, I mean, I grew up on Saved by the Bell and 90210. Screech Powers, rest in peace, Dustin Diamond. We lost Screech this week. He was, only in his 40s, and this all escalated very fast. He had stage 4 cancer. It was really sad to see losing another one of our favorite, 90s TV stars. Tori had one of, I thought, the most heartfelt tributes. She posted this picture on Instagram, and she talked about, we were going to do the other one first, huh?
Yeah,
let's
let's take a look at the scene.
Yes.
I'm with you on that, this has been a very difficult loss and a difficult time. I really would have loved to have seen him on the reboot too. But anyway, we want to always celebrate our favorites. Here is Screech and Tori, or Dustin and Tori, in a scene together.
You have me, Samuel.
Violet, I thought you hated me.
Oh, that was before I realized that you were manipulated by powerful forces and you couldn't help yourself. I love you, Sammy.
I love you too, Violet.
Nice stuff. Really good stuff. Here's the picture she posted.
Yes. And, her words were so sweet. She talked about how, before there was Donna and David, there was Violet and Samuel, and she signed it, love you, Samuel. And, go check out the post on Tori's Instagram feed. It'll probably bring a tear to your eye. I know it made me tear up a little bit. So rest in peace, Dustin. God, yeah. Unbelievable.
It's interesting. I have a friend who posted on Facebook this week. I almost invited him to come on the show that knew him and got to work with him on a couple of sets. And he wrote something really, really sweet. His name is Chris Lind, is my friend. So I don't have the tweet. I don't have the post or anything like that. But from what I'm trying to say is he was really, really well loved by the people that got to meet him. It always reminds me of when something like this happens. It always reminds me of losing Luke, and how devastating that was for all of us as fans of 90210, and just how fragile life is, and how short we have on this world. And so that's one of the reasons why doing this podcast has been so rewarding, to be able to meet all these people that I love and actually get to tell them that, and how grateful I am for everything that they have done in this series and how it changed all of our lives. It's been just an honor, and I love doing that every time that they come by, including the directors and the writers and the producers. So it's important that we show love to all the people that are around us that mean something to us, because you never know. 44 is really that's pretty young.
Super young, so sad. And one more sad story before we move on to some better news.
Wow.
Riverdale this week had a dream sequence where they featured a scene with Luke that they had filmed back in 2017. So that was kind of a sad thing too, seeing him reliving his Fred Andrews character in this dream sequence they played this week. And I think we've got a clip of that.
I can't believe we're here. Archie, graduating. I didn't think I'd live to see this day.
Gone, but never forgotten. Riverdale left fans in tears with an emotional cameo from late star Luke Perry. The February 3rd graduation episode featured a dream sequence in which Luke's character, Fred Andrews, was overwhelmed to see his son, Archie, say goodbye to high school.
I'm sorry. How did they do this anyway? Was this footage that was existing in the show? I'm sorry.
Yes, it was existing. I believe it aired in 2017, or they filmed it in 2017, and they used it in this dream sequence. But yes, it was existing. I don't think they did any After Effects to add his voice in or anything. No. So yeah, that happened.
It was a scene that was in the episode. I got to really dive into all of that stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Right. What else? Oh, what happened here? I hit the wrong button. So what else do we have here? Do we have any more videos that I have to share?
Yes. Every week we like to show the unmasking of the latest masked dancer character and show who was unmasked this week.
Oh, cool. I know her.
Nominated singer-songwriter and the youngest person to ever win American Idol, Jordan Sparks.
How did Brian do with that? Did he get that? Did he guess that?
He did not, but Paula guessed it. Some of the other guesses I think they had for her were Khloe Kardashian, Jennifer Hudson, and Eve. And Paula had also guessed Jordan Sparks, so she nailed it.
Jason was on a show in
did a bit of a
England,
reunion recently,
yes.
didn't you? On Zoom, is the way we all are having to have our reunions right now.
Yeah, we did. That was around the anniversary of the show. We did that
there I am.
And it was very well received.
Yes, there I am. So they showed a clip from our show on that show, is what you're saying.
Yes, they did. And Jason was also talking about how his daughter loves watching 90210 only with him, and gets to make fun of his mom jeans and his flip phone and that sort of thing. So so it was a cute little clip. And it was really nice to see our podcast featured on there too. So bonus.
Very cool. Hey, Melanie, I got a question for you. This is a super important question.
Okay.
Looking back on that, I had shaved my head in the summer, but I think I like myself better with hair.
Oh, that's a tough one. I like you with hair. I like you with the beanie also. So hair, beanie. I mean, the short hair is not bad either. So
okay. I mean, I think it's growing, so I'm feeling better about my hair choice now, because the bald was that was summer. That was COVID. That was my COVID cut.
Right.
You're also looking very good yourselves these days.
Oh, hey, thank you. Appreciate that. I borrowed my daughter's headband today, since headbands are my new thing, and she's like so stylish. So
very cute. Okay. Yes. Speaking of cute, I don't see any Kathleen stuff.
There is a photo in there. It is a photo of a door. Yes. So she posted this on Instagram saying that she's working a new job. But, Pete, you should know. I mean, you guys are in touch. What's she working on?
I don't know. It's just great to see her working. How about that? And
yes,
I want to say I absolutely adore her work. I have really done some catching up, as we talked about. I was going to start watching Kathleen movies and shows, and every time I see her in something, she elevates the project, and she's just such a gifted performer and a beautiful person. So there's that. Happy Valentine's Day, Kathleen.
Yes. Hey, you know what? Real quick, speaking of Valentine's Day, I want to talk about something a little separate from 90210. So I have this thing. It's called Gram the Love. It's a little passion project that I started a few years ago, a social media movement to fill our Instagram feeds with love from February 1st through the 14th every year. I normally give away a prize for someone who participates. I randomly pick somebody, but this year I've decided to instead donate $100 to one lucky person's nonprofit of choice. So, follow Graham the Love on Instagram, post a picture that shows love, whatever love looks like to you, and tag #Graham the Love.
So it's at Graham the Love.
Yeah, so that's the account. And then what I ask people to do is post pictures where they tag Graham the Love and also use the #Graham the Love. It's something I've been hoping to make into a bigger thing for years. So, maybe somebody watching, maybe you're a celebrity, maybe you want to Graham the Love. I challenge all of you to Graham the Love. It's really easy for a good cause, and you might be able to pick a nonprofit to have a donation made to. So, Graham the Love.
That's very cool. I think that's really awesome. So we got to get people really on that and doing that.
We do. And actually, you should have a picture. One of our Beverly Hills 90210 fan accounts, Graham's the Love, in a cute Dylan and Kelly heart photo. Do you have that, Pete? Yes.
Oops, hit the wrong button. Yes, there it is. There's
yes.
That.
So 90210 fan 2020. Thank you for sharing that. They've also shared a couple other ones. So, love can be 90210 love. I don't care what kind of love, just Graham the Love.
All right, listen, guys, I want to tell you this. We are definitely going to cover Dylan and Kelly. I know this is a big thing that keeps coming up.
Yes.
It has been requested for so long, and I felt so badly because we had so many things going on that we didn't really have a chance to get to that. But we're finally getting to it. We're going to also talk about senior poll and a couple of things. And I'm excited. I think it's going to be one of the really, really best episodes we do. And, of course, now that we announced that, everybody is saying, can you do Brandon and Kelly too? So, okay, let's just take one thing at a time, guys. But yes, we will try to get to that as well. I hear you all. I know what you want us to cover, and it's just a matter of timing. So here's this. Speaking of the Kelly of that Kelly and Dylan.
Yes, Jenny hit the slopes. That was her Instagram photo of her skiing, looking very much in love. Speaking of love, great picture. Love her.
Always love Jenny Garth, as you know that. I've talked about that enough on this show. What else do we have? We have this.
Yes, Brian posted this. He had posted one of these dual-sided pictures a few weeks ago with him and his new girlfriend, and so he threw it back to this one with some Brian vibes, some old school Brian. I like that picture.
So Brian must have got an app.
I'm sure there's some kind of app, yes.
Allows him to do this mirrored photo.
Mm-hmm.
He's become obsessed with it. And now this is 2 weeks in a row that we have a photo of him doing this mirror thing.
Yes.
Let's just keep it going through the year. You know what I mean? Like really use the app and show everybody, hey, I've got this app. Maybe even tell us what the app is.
Yeah, right. Then we can do pictures of us mirrored too. And we can
I would love
Brian.
a picture of me and you mirrored. We need a picture.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Casa Walsh mirroring. I like where that goes.
All right. What else do we have? We have this. Well, I don't know what this is.
Oh, so that was Jason's Instagram photo,
that.
And he was making sushi this week. He said they perfected their crispy rice, and there was a whole carousel of photos. I liked this one the best, and I'm like, man, I would love to eat that right now. That looks delicious. And how talented is he, right? He's been sharing all kinds of food photos. Way to go, Jason.
Jason,
Awesome.
Man, I think it's time for Jason to do a cooking show. I would love to see him do some sort of cooking segment every week.
Maybe we need Tiffany and Jason to do one together, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Hi, Tiffany. You're coming on the show. I mean, she's not, I love Tiffany Amber Thiessen so much. But it's only so much we cannot get a response. So it sucks.
Yes. Hey, I think that's it for our social picks, but I did want to also plug the upcoming Love 90210 Valentines Day Hunt as well. Charles Rosen has generously donated a signed copy of the title page of You Gotta Have Heart. So we now have this super exclusive prize up for grabs. The hunt is happening the 11th through the 15th, starts the same day as the Pluto tweet along, and it's a virtual scavenger hunt. You do virtual things. It's super fun. There's some trivia. You're competing against other fans. Lots of prizes up for grabs. There's a cash prize, this new script prize from Charles, some DVDs, trading cards, lots of fun stuff, merch from you guys. So if you haven't joined already, 90210hunts.com.
Listen, guys, make sure you check out our Patreon. We're doing so much stuff on Patreon. I feel like a lot of you have missed out on it because I understand there's a financial commitment to it, but it's really a low cost. It's $5 to $15 a month, but we're really, really putting out some great content on there that you can't find anywhere else. And I know that I'm doing a whole bunch of really cool watch alongs over the next month. It's going to be really exciting. I just did one with Alan Toy. Lindsay Price and I did one that's really awesome and epic. And it's just been a blast. We do those after dark Zooms. We do so much different stuff on there. So if you would please consider, listen, the show doesn't operate without this. Patreon.com/Beverly Hills 90210 show. Get in there now. Check out, do it for a month. If you think it sucks, then leave. But try it at least for 1 month. And like I said, we're doing really cool contests and all that stuff as well. So, okay.
Yes.
That is that. And this has been the news. I think I've covered all things here. What else? I just want to also shout out our buddy Todd H, who's back.
Yay! Thank you, Todd. Todd pulled all of our clips today. Todd, we love you. We're so happy you're back. Thank you so much.
And don't forget also to check out the other podcast, 90210MG. They always have some really interesting things going on that show. Okay, Melanie, what else you got?
You know what? That's it. It's been a super busy week of news. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great weekend. And with that, 9021 out.